Yash thinks he's broing it down with other guys in the house, but most of the guys find him to be an idiot. It's basically like, welcome back, Keanu. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Let's talk about yesterday on the feeds. It was a pretty boring Saturday on the feeds overall, I would say, but still things to talk about. I mean, there is still 16 people left in the house, which usually on feeds means feeds are very messy, but with this cast, not really overall. We're going to start before the veto when, first of all, Rome told Jason not to pick him in the veto. Now, he said this because he was being honest with Jason that he would save a lyric. But also at that same time, at what point is Rome going to think about saving himself? Like, that's why I've been saying for a few days now that if Rome goes this week, it might be for the best, because I don't think he's ever going to truly learn how to play this game. He should have wanted to play in veto no matter what. Save yourself. He could have saved himself and Lyric. Just tell Jason to pick you. I know that would be shitty to your ally, but Jason should also know better too. Because if not, he's just like Lala, who I guess thought that she was Rome's number one and not Rome's showmance. But the veto players ended up being Devens, Jason, Lyric, Melody, Angela, and Barrett, which was a terrible pick for Rome in general because he would not be in the veto. He still wanted Lyric to socialize. The night before, they kind of plotted this fake breakup so that Lyric could try and get in good with people on the other side. You know, Rome looking out for Lyric's game, but Rome has just been kind of sitting around like a sad sap, not doing a whole lot for his own game. We've also been seeing, we saw that Drew has been throwing Angela under the bus a lot, saying that Angela was behind the big alliance meeting. Jason yesterday was also telling Lala that Rome was told by Devens that Angela was the mastermind behind all of this. I did not see that conversation happening. I don't know if Jason is lying just to throw Angela under the bus, but that's literally the truth of what happened. So maybe Devens did tell that to Rome. I kind of like that Angela's plan that was totally based on her paranoia is falling back onto her, which is what she deserves, because Angela is the reason we have this 8-person alliance full of some of the most annoying players in the house that I fear we're going to be stuck with for several more weeks the way things are looking. Barrett told Devens that the picks could not have gone better because everyone in the veto would use the veto. And that's what it took for Devens to realize that he this week is good, basically. His plan will go through. He's glad that Barrett pointed that out. Devens is actually slow at understanding the game mechanics for this game. That was another example. Before the veto, Barrett was talking to Melody, saying that he could throw it to Melody, saying that those picks... Well, Melody said those picks couldn't have been worse, and she felt like she could beat Angela. It was always going to be smartest for Barrett to try and throw this veto, because even though his game should be obvious that he is Team Vets all the way, many on Rome's side, that is still not even really a side, so I don't see it that way with Barrett. Although they will talk about it from time to time, Mallory will always say that they can't probably trust Barrett and Drew, and then Mallory will still have these conversations with Barrett. And my biggest thing with Melody is, and it's why I can't root for her, is that she's still going to continue to get played bad by Drew and Barrett. Like, she knows they are on the other side, or at best, playing the middle, and yet she still says too much to them. Hell, I would say that Melody even said too much to Kamu last night. Like, for me, it's one thing to try and get close to people that you see as against you. I'm all for that. But Melody, and all these players know that 8 people met in a room, and she was not included in those people. So in getting closer to those people, when you're just throwing other people around you under the bus, you're just really trying to become, 9th or 10th on a list of this giant-ass alliance. I think it's terrible gameplay. And that's basically all she was doing by giving people in an obvious alliance ammo against people like she should be close to, like Mallory. Although she clearly always likes to throw Mallory under the bus, but she did tell Kamu that Mallory doesn't really like his side with Kamu, Chuk, Haley, and the vets. Which sucks because I think Mallory is one of the only people that can get us out of this mess by winning the next HOH and getting people to turn on each other. And I can't believe we are relying on Mallory to do that. But she did win the veto, so it's possible. Last week, anyway, she won the veto. Rome talked to Drew about his secret, his big secret that his real name's not Rome. It is Jack. He got that nickname because he was picked on by kids in middle school. And they made that joke when they were asking him, do you know where Rome is? And he says, Italy, shaped like a boot. Somehow that led to him, his nickname now being Rome forever. Rome clearly still feels some kind of way about being bullied when he was younger. And I think that's why he gives all these speeches about how he's going to protect the people in the house that are submissive. That was his whole thing coming in. And now he's getting the chance to do so. But unfortunately, he does not have a strategic bone in his body to try and make that happen. Rome also got creepy with Lyric yesterday, talking about how she looks 18. Very strange conversation, especially when you add in Lyric's baby voices that she does. This was all before coaching her, trying to hype her up for the veto. Didn't love those conversations between Rome and Lyric, and they continue to get creepier and creepier. I haven't liked this showmance from jump. I'm still wishing and hoping that one of these two go home this week. Drew talked to Dee and Devens about Rome and how he has basically lost Melody and Yash already. You know, some people in this are already huge alliance. Wouldn't mind pulling in one or two more people. Yeah, let's have a 9 or 10 person alliance. How fucking exciting is that? Melody tried to hype herself up for the veto, which I thought was cute. She's clearly someone that wants to stay. She was talking to the camera, dancing in the gym, saying things like, I did not work my ass off to get here to fucking leave. She also talked to the camera about Devens, which cracked me up, saying, a grown-ass man put me on the block. Go home and take care of your kids. I laughed. I have no issue with jokes when people are frustrated with the person. And that's what a lot of people have joked about Devens before he got in the game. Tyson was on a podcast talking shit about Devens not caring about his family as a joke. It's a joke. Devens, however, won the veto, which he should have. It was a puzzle, very Survivor-esque. Also sounds like a guy was going to have to win because the puzzle pieces were pretty heavy. Dee and Barrett afterwards agree that either Jason or Rome are going home this week. For me, I am hoping that the blockbuster is a RuPaul's Drag Race runway with Michelle Visage judging. That way Jason could stay. I still feel like he will bring more drama than anyone else on the block. Although I guess Melody might be able to bring better gameplay than anyone else on the block. But she also has too many blind spots for me right now. Rome still didn't realize that he might be the backdoor plan, although he's had this idea from time to time that might be the plan. At one point yesterday, he did say that they're probably going to take Melody off and put him up, and he's acting like it's fine. Roman also talked about how Jason almost won the veto and that he finished his puzzle first, but then he paused to look at it before buzzing in, which gave Devens a chance to buzz in before him, which sucks because I still think losing Jason this week would be too early. Dee and Kamo agree that they will evict Rome if Rome does not win the blockbuster, though it is up to Rome in the blockbuster to save himself. We'll see how that goes. As I said, Lyric and Rome discussed how they were going to have some sort of breakup to the house so that Lyric could get in better with other people, and Lyric has hit the ground running. Yesterday, flirting with both Chuk and Yash, getting touchy, getting cuddly with them. Chuk and Lyric were cuddling at one point with Chuk looking at Yash. Hella excited. I don't know. I think that the guys do like the attention from Lyric. Chuk definitely did. The face Chuk made, he was enjoying that. When Lyric left, Chuk and Yash talked about how Rome was dumb for talking to Devens, an expert in the game, and naming names and running down his own allies, which is true. That was very stupid of Rome. He let Devens play him. Chuk also giving Rome shit for not staying out of a showmance because Chuk did warn him, which he did. Although now Chuk is more than happy to try and get close to Lyric himself. And then Yash is basically trying to be the ninth member of this big ol' alliance. Like, Yash thinks he's broing it down with other guys in the house, but most of the guys find him to be an idiot. It's basically like welcome back Keanu, except without the funny shit talking, because at least Keanu could be funny. Yash, there's nothing interesting about him. He has boring conversations. He thinks he's with the bros and he's not. He is stupid just like Keanu, and he has a terrible haircut. Don't know any positives right now for Yash. Chuk also just hates Taylor. I feel like every day he has something to say about Taylor. This time it's like, Taylor doesn't do shit. All Taylor does is make fries. Well, at least Taylor makes fries. Because what does Chuk fucking do? Nothing. Chuk is one of the people I talk about least right now, which maybe is a good thing. Maybe that means somehow he's gotten his target lower, which for, him being a big muscular guy is actually a big deal because they usually do come in with a big target. But like as someone to watch on feeds, he's terribly boring or just annoying with his shit talk because he wants to be a cowboy so bad and not actually Nigerian. But I didn't like I don't like any of Chuk's conversations about Taylor. It's a weird one-sided beef there. Taylor, meanwhile, she does keep saying these things to Lala, like, I think we should lay low and let them kill each other, which is, it could work. I feel like if they are both able to stay good with different people on different sides of the house, like if Taylor could go 4 or 5 more weeks while bigger targets like take each other out, I think Taylor could go far, but I also think she will need to have like a better game than she currently does, because right now Taylor is giving coaster. Last night, Lyric went to the HOH to talk to Devens and pitch that she would not nominate him if she wins HOH, if he uses veto on her. And it worked because, as I've been saying since the game started, Devens has proven that he is easily swayed. He can be easily swayed. You just need to talk to this man last. He's one of those types of players, which I don't really respect. But Lyric also got to D, and I feel like, I'm going to give Lyric credit for finally playing. Her and her little innocent act did start to work last night. It was really her first day of clocking into play, and she might have convinced the vets to use the veto on her. Angela, when talking to Dee and Devens about this, was trying to get them to keep the plan of saving Mallory, but they were still stuck on saving Lyric, which is stupid. That's Rome's showmance. So the fact that Devens and Dee were considering that idea pretty hardcore. At one point, Devens leaning towards that was stupid. It will always be stupid to me that if your target is someone in a showmance, both people in that showmance need to be on the block. It is literally common sense. But Dee was even considering, I feel like, just getting Mallory out this week, period, which makes zero sense to Devens HOH. Because if the vets end up somehow pushing for Mallory to go by the end of the week, they're dumb as fuck. Because Rome named Mallory as his most disposable to Devens, basically. And so if this whole week is about Rome, getting out Mallory makes the least sense. Like I said earlier, Mallory is someone that I am relying on to shake up this season, and that's a sad thing because I don't know if we can rely on her. But she was very frustrated last night, saying things like, I quote, "Part of the reason this is so hard is because there is 3 icons. We couldn't compete in the HOH. They already have an alliance, and now they are with the 3 biggest physical threats, and they are about to get all the superpowers. Yeah, this season was set up so the vets could get fire. And I'm glad that Mallory sees how obvious that is. And that is part of the reason why the feeds suck. Production set this season up so the feeds would suck. I don't think that was their intention, but that's exactly what has happened. The dynamics in that house are not entertaining at all. Mallory also talked to Lyric and Mallory about how the 3 icons and those 3 other losers, the big dogs, must have something. So at least Mallory sees that. I mean, everyone should see this. There was 8 people in an HOH. The people not in that HOH room should be like stuck on this whole week, and they're really not. But yeah, Lyric and Mallory want to find a way for both of them to stay. And Mallory thinks that Dee is telling Devens to put her up right now because Mallory has paranoia over Dee since Dee nominated her first. I like that Mallory hates Dee. You know, Dee is one of the only people so far this season that has played their own games. I think she's been stupid the past 48 hours myself. But it's good to see that Mallory has it out for her. Somebody should. She's a Survivor winner. So I do want a Mallory HOH because I think all 3 vets would be nominated. And I honestly feel like only her or whoever stays this week between Jason and Rome are the only people who would legitimately shake up the house. And the house is going to need some shaking up, or the feeds are going to stay boring because the vets and the Mega 3 are already so cocky with the game. They really do need the tides to turn so that some stuff gets shaken up. Melody and Drew talked about what might happen on Monday, and Drew thinks that Jason is not coming off the block. It will be between Melody and Lyric. Drew said it's either going to be you or Lyric who get pulled off. It would be weird if Devens took Lyric off to put Rome, because that's a vote for him. So even Drew sees this, but the 2 Survivor vets are acting stupid. That, yeah, if you take Lyric off and you put Rome up and Rome is your target, why are you giving Rome a vote to stay in Lyric? Think. Angela was promising Jason her vote to stay this week if in return Jason wouldn't nominate her for the next 3 weeks. Jason accepted the deal. Angela told Jason that if he does that, then he will have her loyalty. I don't know how serious Angela is here. I would like these 2 to somehow work together after starting the season with beef. I think that would be a good storyline for the show this summer, and it's in desperate need of a storyline that isn't vet domination. But we'll see. Jason still hates Devens, though, saying that Devens is a drag queen. He's a stage whore. He's good at it. He has a good brand. And I actually do think that sums up Devens. Devens is here to cause chaos. That is his brand. And he is a stage whore. He does like that sort of attention. I'm convinced now after watching Devens on live feeds that he's never actually tried to win games he's been on. He's just tried to make a big show of moves to be a television star. So last night, after 24 hours of Rome telling Lyric to get in good with the other side and do what she has to do, and they're going to fake a breakup, Rome was becoming jealous of Lyric flirting her way in good with the guys on that other side. Rome was definitely pouting when Lyric is saying that she's telling people she's not with him anymore. Lyric talked about how Kamu wants her to come on their side. Rome said, of course he does. He wants his little girlfriend over there. Lyric said, I'm your girlfriend. Rome said, you better be. So jealousy there. I will say, though, like Lyric going around telling people that she feels bad to say this, but she wants to come down and Rome could go up. I feel like that's terrible gameplay. Because why are you throwing your showmance, should be one of your best alliances, under the bus? But honestly, in modern Big Brother cast fashion, I feel like these people are falling for it and don't think it's a weird pitch for an obvious showmance. Kamu luckily had a talk with Devens last night to talk him off the ledge of using the veto on Lyric instead of Melody and try and go with that original plan of Melody, because they did watch the HOH camera and see Lyric flirting heavily with Chuk, and Devens doesn't like that kind of gameplay. My hope is that Lyric's flirting backfires and enough people feel sorry for Rome that they want to vote Lyric out, because Lyric going out is best case scenario for feeds for sure. But as I have been saying for days, if Rome goes, that's fine. He could go too. He's not a good player. How exactly is Rome supposed to be the savior for the other side when he still hasn't pulled the other side together and he has no real game plan other than sulking and trying to save Lyric. Lala did have a conversation with Rome, and I liked what she had to say about Barrett, calling him Mr. Star fucking Struck, because that's exactly Barrett's game. I've given Drew a lot of shit because he gives the vets too much info, but I feel like at least he has relationships around the house that I feel like he still can use, even though people like Mallory shouldn't be falling for it. I just feel like Barrett is there to do whatever the vets want to do. Anyway, I feel like this week has only just grown the targets on the vets, which is fine by me because they deserve it. But in doing so, I feel like they've put Haley, Chuk, and Kamu in a better spot. And two of those people are two of my least favorite people to watch on the feeds. I think Haley and Chuk fucking suck. And I'm glad that rhymes because it's the truth.